So I read the article that you mentioned, and I think you said you came out to your family and friends just after your 22nd birthday.
Yeah.
And then you went into work on the Monday and went straight back in the closet.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what that experience was like, and also if you had at the time any professional gay role models, because from what I've seen of you and the content you share, it looks like it's a case of being the person you wish you had when you were younger.
Answer to your question about professional gay role models, the answer was certainly no. Like, I grew up in the 80s in the UK, and like the headlines were horrendous. I mean, the headlines, they were outing politicians, they were outing actors, actresses. The headlines were always around like the gay plague, sort of referring to HIV and AIDS. And you therefore grow up in an environment where you assume that being gay is wrong. Certainly wasn't out at school, certainly wasn't out to my family. And you just assume it's wrong. And it took many years of like intense discomfort to get to a stage where I was comfortable coming out to my family and my friends. And I was very, very fortunate that they were incredibly thoughtful and caring and loving. But as you said, like that Monday morning, I went back into the work, and I think it's about 3/4 of grads do exactly the same. They go straight back into the closet. And that was based on not being entirely comfortable with myself. I dropped out of university. I was the youngest person at work, and I was gay. And I felt like all three of them put me at a disadvantage. And I thought if I would come out as gay, that it would be seen as a weakness, and that my career would be impacted. That's ultimately what it came to. I thought, and I was, in hindsight, and it was the only job that I've ever had where I experienced direct homophobia, and I wasn't out at the time.
Wow.
So I was like particularly anxious as a result of the incident that took place. But it took me changing jobs to have the confidence to come out. And then there was like all of these benefits I just didn't expect. My confidence built. I built more trusting relationships with colleagues, with clients, with partners. I think, it's for others to judge, but I think I became a more empathetic leader, or a more compassionate leader, perhaps, just because of the process of self-reflection that the journey that I'd been on. And I became more successful at that point. And most people, it just made work a hell of a lot more fun. Like, you want to go into work every day and you want to enjoy it. Like, we spend 45 years of our life working or something, and you want to go into work and like enjoy it every day. And I think although I benefited from work and I learned a load of skills before coming out in the workplace, I only started enjoying it once I was out.
That's really nice to hear. And so now you work at LinkedIn and you're in a position where you can make real change.
Yeah.
What are some of the steps that LinkedIn have taken in that respect?
Specifically with regards to sexuality?
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate at LinkedIn. I'm the sort of exec sponsor of our employee resource group called Outed In. Everything has to have an in it somewhere. So yes. Outed In, which is for our LGBT plus employees around the world. And we have a community, I think now, of about 1,000 employees, either LGBT plus or allies who are participants in that community. We have done brilliant partnerships with our editorial team to ensure that we are regularly interviewing and publishing content from LGBT plus creators around the world and LGBT plus business leaders. We of course, we've ensured that all of our policies internally are equally applicable for same-sex partners as they are for men and women. We do fun things like celebrate in Pride every year. We work with a series of organizations to ensure increased LGBT equality when it comes to legislation around the world. Microsoft do that as well. There are so many ways that we try and ensure that everyone has a sense of, coming back to that idea of belonging, has a sense of belonging at LinkedIn. And I'm like, it's been an amazing journey to go on with that team over the last few years.
That's brilliant. That must feel so special and authentic for you, having had the experience of being in the closet at work and then being out and now being in a place where it's so outwardly kind of accepting and open for everyone.
Yeah, look, it's clearly very personal and therefore fulfilling. And don't get me wrong, there are still employees who come to LinkedIn that don't feel comfortable coming out. And I think, you know, and part of that is us and part of that could be them. Our role is to create an environment where people, if they choose to do so, and some people may not for very valid reasons, but if they choose to do so, feel comfortable, like bring their authentic self into work every day, whatever that may be. And we never want to prompt them. Like, we just want to create a space where if they feel comfortable doing that, they can.
Mm-hmm.